My experience with Venom and slash Spider-Man's separation anxiety Super Nintendo version. Oh boy, where do I begin with this game? So, before we start, I need to share my stream on Discord, and I'm going to be talking about this game for a long while. I want to do at least two of my experiences today. I want to do this one, and I want to do a one on Captain America, the newer movie. Alright, so I'll be right back. I'm going to share the stream. We're going to talk about this game, because this game... Alright. I got all the star coins in World 1 of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Hey, good shit, man. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a hard game. Hope you enjoy it, though. Well, it's a fun game, too. But anyway, so... Venom slash Spider-Man separation anxiety. I do want to tell you the story of this game before we go into it. Basically, the story is simple, right? One day, Venom was just chilling, basically still being the menace that he is. And just out of nowhere, he spawns these 5 other symbiotes of his. And these 5 symbiotes were about to murk Venom, right? And Venom had to escape, ask Spider-Man for help to help him deal with all 5 of these other symbiotes that he created, aka, Carnage, Scream, and maybe a few others, right? If you're wondering what the fuck. And that's pretty much the whole story in a nutshell, is Spider-Man and Venom dealing with a certain threat, or aka dealing with the threat that Venom sort of kind of basically created out of himself. But Venom didn't even want these kids, basically. Alright? Well, they're not really, well, they are, but they aren't at the same time, because they're all offspring of Venom, and usually offspring of a symbiote want to kill the parent. It's a whole thing. It's a weird thing, right? So, that's the story of this game. So, let me tell you my story with this game, right? So, I remember after beating Spider-Man 1 for the NES, I was wondering if Spider-Man 2 existed for the NES, right? And I remember me and Chris were kind of going back and forth on that because, Chris is the Spider-Man expert. I'm just a Spider-Man noob at this point, right? I haven't really played a lot of, I didn't really play a lot of well, I did play Spider-Man growing up. That was one of my first video games I ever touched as a kid, but, like, the little gamepad Spider-Man, though. Not like, not like Spider-Man nowadays where, like Marvel Spider-Man 1, Marvel Spider-Man 2, not like any of those games. But anyways... You get it. Very old game, like a kid pad Spider-Man game. That's the first Spider-Man game I ever played. But if I could find that kid Spider-Man game now, I would play it, just see what it's fucking like. It's like one of those. It's like one of those games where you basically just go over and you hook it up to your TV, and it already has a game auto on there. That's basically the Spider-Man game I'm talking about. Which Buckets Queen? Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. But anyways, so like I said. I was talking to Chris one day, and I downloaded, Venom slash Spider-Man separation anxiety, right? That sounds like a fucking cool-ass title. I don't see video games have titles like that anymore, right? So I decided to get the game. And Ronnie was like, ooh, I don't know if you want to play that one, fam. And I'm like, why? Dude, that game is hard, right? And I said, I didn't say, it's not that bad. It can't be that bad. I didn't do that to my nigga Ronnie right there. But what I said was like, it's hard, but I kind of want to give it like a shot, a fair shake. I was kind of curious about this game, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it on the internet, or at least I didn't really do research into people talking about it because I didn't want to get spoiled on the game and whatnot, because, I want to go in there blind. I want to go in there and have a blind experience. So, I talked to Renee about it. We talked about it for that day. And keep this in mind. This is months upon months upon months before I even started playing the game. I won't lie to you guys. When I first got this game, I completely put it in the background. Right? I completely, I completely forgot about the game. I didn't, play it day one or day two or day three when I downloaded it. I literally just kept it there, on my shit for a long time, right? Until yesterday, actually. The same day I beat, Jubilee, right? A lot of people weren't there for that stream, but I beat Jubilee, and many hours later after that point, I finally decided to get on my device because I realized, hey, I've been slacking on video game my experiences, okay, as of late. As you guys have noticed, alright, I've been talking way more about Marvel movies. I haven't been really talking about what made me, not popular, but what got me somewhere in the first place. NES games, like the OGs, N64, Sega Genesis. Where are the OG gaming reviews, right? Where are those at, right? So, I sat myself down over here on the floor. Let's play Spider-Man Separation Anxiety, so we can finally play another Spider-Man game under our belt. Little did I know, this game was one of the most stressful beat-em-up games I've played since Golden Axe. Since Golden Axe 1, since Golden Axe 2, okay? Holy fuck, I didn't think a beat-em-up Spider-Man game was gonna put me through the fucking ringer, but it fucking did multiple times, and I'm gonna explain why. So, when you get on this screen, you can choose to tackle this game with 1 or 2 players, right? Obviously, since I played this by myself, I had to do all the fighting, all of everything by myself, which kind of fucking sucked. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Alright? It sucked because I wanted to, maybe have Chris come along and stuff. But, so, what's cool about this game, actually what sucks about this game, is there's no options menu, so you can't make the game easier, you can't add lives to your life counter, you literally have to play on the difficulty that's automatically set on 1 or 2 players, right? Now, when you click 2 players, Spider-Man and Venom are both playable, but when you click 1 player, you have to pick one character or the other the entire time you play, right? Now, you might be thinking that's not bad. Also, there is no save system in the Super Nintendo version of this game. I think that is fucking stupid. So that means when you die in this game, you better make sure you beat the level that you're on so you can get yourself a password. So you put that password in and you start at that said level when you reboot up the game, when you get a game over. Because when you lose all your lives, you're booted all the way back to the title screen. They don't give a fuck how far you are. You could be on one of the hardest bosses in the entire fucking game, and they're over here like, nope, go back to the start. You better make sure you write that password down. And I'm sitting there like, oh, it's one of these. Think of like OG Mega Man, where you had to write down passwords for some of the older games instead of them like having a save system in their shit. That's basically what this is, right? Now, obviously, this dude did 2 players. Or he didn't do 2 players. But you get it, right? Separation anxiety is no joke. They explained the story. This was level 1 when I first got into it. Now I'm sitting here like, oh shit, health. This game can't possibly be bad. This game starts you out with only 3 HP, buddy, and enemies do hella damage in this game hella quick. I remember, bro, I was fighting some of the enemies for the first time in level 1. I was sitting there like, okay, what are my buttons? Because I don't know my buttons. So you have a basic punch combo, right? Like a punch combo. You have just a regular punch combo, right? Like, just, fuck, I'm about to be like Tyler One at this bitch looking like a dumbass, right? About to do that punch combo. You have your punch combo, your regular punch combo. You can run up to them, grab them, and then multi-punch them. You can also run up to them, grab them, pick them up all the way and chuck them, or just punch them and then chuck them. You can do that too. You also have, you can swing, you can web swing, a little bit, like you know, like your Spider-Man in this bitch. You can web swing to get out of the way of certain things. If jumping over it or jumping over enemies, projectiles, and whatever doesn't work, you can web swing. You can also like web attack an enemy to keep an enemy in place. If you're playing Spider-Man, if you're playing Venom, it's just like a Venom grab, and then you just beat the shit out of the enemy and whatever, right? And so Venom and Spider-Man, they do play a little differently. But anyways, I digress, right? So regular enemies, right? After you can web them up. If also to explain more Spider-Man moves, if an enemy is in front of you and behind you, and you press down your web button, Spider-Man will web them both together and make them collide with each other to do amazing damage. But you also need to really get the fuck out of there. Now, keep this in mind when playing this game. This game is an old school beat 'em up game. My voice is cracking a lot, I've noticed. I don't know, Jollibee put me through the fucking ringer, okay? Or a Jubilee put me through the ringer. And this game didn't help. Alright? Keep this in mind. Whenever you play beat 'em up games, or whenever I play beat 'em up games, I don't play beat 'em up games very often. Alright? Last time I played a beat 'em up game, I think was the older Streets of Rage games. And Golden Axe, and Ninja Turtles, and all that other sort of stuff, right? Those are like the beat 'em up games I play, which is the OG style beat 'em up games where you're playing a sprite-based character going down certain lanes with multiple different types of enemies on those said lanes. You just gotta beat up so you can progress through the stage, right? I remember level 1 taking so fucking long because not only enemies did massive damage to my HP, but, like, I didn't know, like, the punch buttons. I didn't know the kick buttons. I was sitting there looking like a dumbass, when playing. I think he's even doing the infinite lives cheat. Yep, he's doing the lives cheat. Basically doing the lives cheat, right? And by the way, there are in-game cheats to help you succeed easier with the game. If you want to do that, you can just look them up because I can't tell. I don't remember them, how to do them. So, basically, when you play this game, some enemies, whenever they're up against the screen, like the edge of the screen, you can't see them, beat them the fuck up over there. Because I remember making the mistake multiple times over in these levels, not beating up the enemies immediately, right? From the edge of the screen. Sometimes beating the enemies up from the edge of the screen will actually really help you succeed in-game. Right? These enemies are no joke, man. I got my ass beat so many fucking times by these guys. And since you start out with like 3 or 2 lives, you only have 3 or 2 health bars before you game over. And since this feels more like an arcade game ported over to the NES system, that's your 1 life you get before you need to put in a password to continue the game, right? So every encounter in this game was anxiety-filled, it felt like, because not only the enemies in level 1 were the weakest enemies, but like you also had the weakest fucking boss fight in the game too. And by the way, look at the length of the first level. It started at like 6 to 4 or 5 minutes when you get in. It starts at 4 minutes, and then look where the first level ends. Look at this. It ends at 10 fucking minutes. Brother, this guy was there at 4 minutes. 4. Like, fuck, I can't count. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That stage was 5, 6, 7 minutes. That stage was 7 minutes long. Keep in mind, in those 7 minutes, and if you're not used to playing beat-em-up games like your boy over here, and messes up fighting in lanes, you're taking so much unnecessary damage. Like, you're getting coddled, and keep in mind, this game is just like Golden Axe, so if you get enemies in front and behind you, they will sit there, not taking turns, and beat the fuck out of you, bro. Like, no matter what, doesn't matter, you can be in front of them, behind them, whatever, they'll take time to beat you up. No problem, no questions asked. They won't even take turns. They invented the idea of Jujutsu Kaisen jumping, okay? With how easily you can get sandwiched in between enemy attacks and all that stuff. And keep this in mind, when you get staggered in this game as well, you get fucking staggered, bro. When you get hit, it's like, oh god, I can barely get the fuck out of there before another enemy tries to attack me again. And by the way, these guys don't take turns either. So, after the first stage, you're sitting there, what the hell is this yellow thing? You know, my best advice on beating this yellow random robotic thingy-majiggy is spam the fuck out of your attack button. Because this guy has a lot of HP, and make sure you spam it before he's able to whip out one attack. Because if he whips out one, and by the way, Sheriff, welcome to stream. If he whips out one attack on you, you will be sent fucking flying, and your HP will drop like a fucking madman. That's what I recommend when you see. That's what I honestly recommend when you beat that guy. So the stage ends, you're like, okay. And keep this in mind, I don't know why Google decided to lie to me whenever we discuss about, or whenever I looked up how many stages are there in this game. But low-key, some of the fuckers on the internet are stupid and did not update they shit. Or not stupid, but they just did not update they shit. Because I looked up how many levels are in this game. Some people said 2 stages. And I was like, bet, 2 stages. Because 9 times out of 10, Google doesn't really lie to me when I look up how many stages there are in an old NES video game or whatever, right? There was way more than 2 stages in this entire game. And I was already full of anxiety with just the first one. I remember after the first stage, and by the way, I love this cool stage cleared screen because you get a little bit of Spider-Man art or Venom art, depending on what character you do it as. It's so fucking cool, right? And then you get a little bit of background. And this, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this screen does get kind of annoying because it's constantly, like every time you beat a stage, you don't just immediately go into the stage. Once you beat a stage, you clear stage, you get a bunch of text explaining why you're doing the next level. And I mean, every single level has this. Like, the first level has it because it's introducing you into the game, which makes sense. I thought it was going to be a one-and-done thing. No, every single level before you start it has a long paragraph text on what the fuck is happening in the game, because they can't show that because it's a Super Nintendo game. So they can't really show it. So they have to give you a wall of text to explain to you the events of said level that you're going into. Right? And I remember I was like, okay, this is cool. I like this type of game, you know, like them explaining what the fuck. So it's kind of like the devs trying to get you, like, into the game whatsoever, right? So that is not level 2. So this is level 2, like this bridge level shit, right? Now, I don't know what's up, but I think, I don't remember this level for some reason. I think, like, either my version is bugged. Oh, no, my version isn't bugged because I did the bridge level, right? This is the first level where we get introduced to these guys. You guys thought the high school punks and shit were bad. These guys are 90% of the game after this. I won't even lie. You fight this dude and worser guys later in this game. It starts level 2 onward. So, what is the issue with these guys? Well, for example, whenever you get taken away off screen, or whenever you beat them up off screen or on screen and they're far away from you, sometimes they'll feel the need to do 2 things. Excuse me. Throwing a fucking grenade at you, which takes this amount of health away every grenade, or a little bit more if it's a sniper shot or a gunshot from one of these guys. And I won't lie, since you start fighting groups of these guys later into this level, you fight like groups of 3, you fight groups of 4 of these types of enemies. Hell, sometimes you even fight a group of 5 of these guys. So just imagine them not taking turns, them shooting you, them bombing you like every 10 seconds, them trying to walk up to you and start discussions. It's a whole fucking thing. And I remember being so annoyed by level 2 about how annoying these guys are, and they just keep on respawning over and over and over again. Oh, and if you think you're not going to be taking damage in this game, you are fucking funny, because these guys will eventually whoop your fucking ass. And speaking of Spider-Man, Hasbro released their Maximum Spider-Man figure, and I'm not excited for it. Damn. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's mostly level 2 is mostly these guys, right? Oh, and let me get started on this fucking boss, right? This boss is fucking annoying because he has multiple different versions of himself. So he has a regular light blue version where he basically just has a giant gun. He basically whips your ass, does a lot of damage, and shoots you, right? And then you have a version later on, if I don't mention it later on, he has a version where he starts flying around the fucking screen. You're not able to hit him, and you gotta make sure you dodge his fucking attacks in a certain lane, otherwise you're fucking dead. This guy was fucking annoying. My advice on beating this guy, this random fucking dude with gun. Alright, he's just like a random fucking dude. I don't fucking know, right? He's basically a dude with a gun. He's basically one of the guys you fought earlier with a gun, right? So how do you fight him? Spam your fucking attacks. Make sure he doesn't wake up and do his. And when he wakes up and does his, make sure you avoid it at all costs. Because, oh, and also you can block by pressing, I think, either the web button. Just pressing it and staying in that spot allows you to block. Doing your web, you have to move forward and press the web button to actually release your web. So, fun fact about that. Anyways, other than that, this guy sucks. I hated fighting this guy, right? So then for some reason we end up in a fucking jungle. And I'm like, damn, we're going everywhere. We first start in the city. Then we start in the goddamn bridge. And now we're in a goddamn jungle level. That's 3 levels in. Now, it's still like mostly the same shit with mostly fighting the same guys. Just the same bullshit. It kind of feels like on endless loop. And one thing I started to notice about this game is, and you guys are going to hate this, but whenever you play a video game, don't you love it when levels have a consistency in length? Because this game fucking sucks when it comes to level length. And let me explain why. I say this because there are some levels in this game. And keep in mind, there is, I think, around 18 levels in this game. Yeah, 18. I won't lie to you guys. Playing a beat-em-up game single player and seeing 18 levels thrown into my face where I had to fight those same fucking dudes over and over again every single stage after level 2. Don't you think it gets kind of annoying? And I'm not gonna lie, the one thing that was keeping me there to beat the entire fucking experience was that goddamn music. I mean, hear this shit. I remember me sitting there jamming to the guy. I want to say this before we continue. The music in this game is a hard carry. I won't lie to you guys. I understand why there's videos on the internet now when they say Venom / Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. Is it a bad sequel to another Spider-Man game I probably haven't played yet? Is it like a good game? Is it a bad game? I won't lie to you guys. The enemy variety could have been better. I won't lie to you guys. The enemy variety could have been better. But back to what I was saying on stage / levels, right? You could be playing a stage for 5-7 minutes, right? But then there's stages in this game that go for 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 14 minutes. Now you might be thinking, Alan, maybe it's because you might suck at the game. That's why it takes you longer. No. No. It's just that some stages are literally longer than others because I don't fucking know why. The fucking developers decided to put way more enemies, decided to put them in spots that are more dickheadish, and whatnot, right? I won't lie to you guys, and I hate that in my video games. I like it when levels are all the same length, if not slightly longer than previous levels, okay? I don't like it when levels are rapidly inconsistent. Sometimes levels are 6 to 7 minutes, like the first stage. Some levels are even longer than that, 12, 13, 14-minute levels. And by the way, since there's 18 stages, that 13, 14-minute one level is just one level. It isn't like 2 levels put in one. It's literally one big fat fucking level, and it's annoying. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So when you go through this and you see... Oh, and by the way, I should mention this now, but most of the time when I was playing this game, I didn't understand what that 4 meant. I just said, oh, Captain America 4. Okay, I gotta collect these. Right? So when collecting those, right? Oh, and also whenever you beat stages, I forgot to mention this. This guy fucking sucks. I hate this black symbiote. Because level 3, right? So I'm going to explain 2 things, right? Before I explain him, I'm going to explain your friends. So that way you guys get a better understanding. So, in this game, and I had no idea about this, because I remember when I was playing Separation Anxiety, Captain America and other characters were not spawning for me, okay? I was not getting their hero pickups 90% of the time. I didn't even know what they did, because all I assumed, right, was this was a real old school beat 'em up game where, oh, and also, you know what's also another beat 'em up game? That one ninja game series, Shinobi. Shinobi's also a beat 'em up game with a full screen move and shit. That's another game I played. Anyways, where's your superheroes really that useless in the game? Where your superheroes really? They're not useless. They have their uses. It's just that I didn't know how to use them. So keep this in mind. I went through maybe 4 or 5 levels in this game. 6 levels maybe. 7 levels maybe. I don't even remember anymore, right? Without using my superhero friends, because I didn't know what button it was to activate them. Because when you go into this game, there's no manual. There's no options menu to look at your controls. You have to this shit out unless you have a fucking guide on you on hand, or a YouTube guide, or some type of guide on the internet. You have to go into this game when you put this in your fucking Super Nintendo. You have to put the game cartridge in your Super Nintendo if you're playing this on original hardware with no internet. You have to go into this game willy-nilly, basically fucking blind to not only the controls but how to use them, what's the best way to handle situations and whatnot. You have to go in there willy-nilly. And that's basically what the fuck I did. And that's why I didn't understand that, okay, using the other Avengers or other superheroes is basically Spider-Man's super move in this game. Captain America, I think in one lane he throws his shield and everyone in that lane like either takes heavy damage or fucking dies. Right? You got Ghost Rider that comes in, spins his chain whip, and sends close range or fucking dead immediately, I think, when he touches it. But also you have Ghost Rider has these little black specks that fly out of his shit. Right? That shit. Then you got Hawkeye, which when you use his special move, and make sure you hit an enemy with this, so that way they'll continuously do more damage. Because some characters, if you don't get a hit on an enemy, they'll just stop their fucking full ult and just not ultimate, like full screen nuke attack their shit, right? And then most of these guys in this game are not even full screen. I mean, they'll do massive damage if you put the character in the right place when wanting to deal damage, but not everybody's a full screen, right? Hawkeye will come in and shoot arrows from the air and basically attack all the enemies. Daredevil will come in with his nunchucks and start spinning them around, similar to Ghost Rider, but like I think it's only for grounded enemies that they'll hit, and it's a whole thing. And I remember once I discovered this, I was pissed off. Because keep this in mind, I dealt with that black symbiote that you guys witnessed by myself. There was no Captain America. There was nobody to help me since I didn't know the fucking right trigger button. I didn't know which button to press. I was basically sitting there dealing with this symbiote alone. And this symbiote right here, let me explain him, is fucking annoying. Because basically what he does is he basically comes up to you, he'll try to jump karate kick your bitch ass, which, by the way, your health will go from full to basically right there or a little bit more than that, already fucking gone. He takes a chunk out of your HP with one flying jump kick, and he has a choice. He can go a bit of the screen or half screen jump kick your bitch ass. And basically, I remember I got lucky, and basically while he's backing up, because sometimes he'll take a while to back up and try to charge up for another kick, you can go up and grab him and punch him a little bit to cause a little bit of damage, or you can sit there and pray to God your punches and kicks work, because sometimes these guys will just go right through your punches and kicks. And I remember dealing with that fucking symbiote, and no, that's not just symbiote Spider-Man or Black or fucking Venom. No, it's just a random black symbiote that you deal with as a boss fight throughout the game, right? And I remember, and this is another thing I want to talk about that also felt like was dragging the game along. After you beat the symbiote, you're sitting there like, okay, I'm done. You get fucking kidnapped by this random green dude. And you're wondering, who the fuck is that, right? Fucking stupid ads. You're like, what the fuck? Is that Anti-Venom? Who is this guy, right? And you know, maybe Chris can explain this to me. But I don't know who this guy is, right? So this is another aspect of the game that I like and dislike. This is what is called the trap room. Alright, I'm going to explain this because I got this a lot throughout my playthrough. Sometimes whenever you beat certain levels in the game, I think either Anti-Venom or some other fucking dude will come in, will trap you in this trap room. Not every trap room has items that will give you like a 1-up, or that will give you like health back and all that other sort of shit, right? And basically what you do in this little mini gauntlet before you actually complete the stage that you already spent 5 to 6, 7, 8 minutes on, or maybe longer than that on, you have to do a trap room which has enemies in it. And basically it's like an enemy gauntlet for you to get out of there and fully complete the stage. I won't lie to you guys, these trap rooms I feel like are a waste of fucking time in the game. Because later on, I won't lie, the enemies get worse in these trap rooms. And I don't even know what spawns the trap rooms in the first place. The game never explains it. Like, they explain the story, yes, for the regular levels, yes, but they don't explain the trap rooms whatsoever. And this is why I wish I went into this game with a fucking manual so I can understand the trap rooms. Because if I had the manual on hand for Venom / Spider-Man separation anxiety, I would have been like, okay, now I understand what the trap rooms do. But since I had to understand this by fucking looking at it, because I didn't have no guide, I didn't have nothing. And by the way, keep in mind, I didn't use a guide for this game when playing this. I used nothing. All I did was look up how long am I into in the game. Because and by the way, keep this in mind too, when playing this game, my hands hurt. My left hand hurts because you guys know what happened when I slammed my fist against that dresser back there. Got my fucking left fucking thing all swollen up, right? And then, by the way, later than that, I kind of roughhoused with Louis. Me and Louis were roughhousing a little bit, just basically being guys, or basically being boys / men, roughhouse, have a little bit of fun, right? And, you know, sometimes I play hit Louis and shit. And because I play hit Louis a little bit too hard, my fucking knuckle went back to being bruised. Now, that might look normal to some of you guys, but if you can look compared to all my other knuckles that are a little bit smaller, this one is still fucking fat and bruised. Same with this one now. Because I roughhouse with Louis a little bit and, you know, hit his body a little bit. Because, you know, when you hit someone's body, you know, you get a little bit fucked up to your own knuckle. And since my knuckles are already pretty sensitive from, you know, me bashing the shit out of them on the table. Oh, and by the way, the reason why this hand hurts because I bashed shit out of the table outside over there. Because of an incident that I'm not going to talk about. But that shit happened, right? And my left hand is because of the dresser back there. So when I roughhouse with Louis, both my knuckles started hurting all over again. And I'm playing this basically mashing my attack button, mashing my web button, mashing everything to kind of help me stay alive, and then also kind of using my other hand to use the D-pad because there's no analog control in the game. So basically, I'm basically hurting myself when playing in this game for long periods of time because my hands constantly hurt whenever they're put in the gaming position. And since, you know, your body's kind of, you know, obviously basically while I'm playing this shit and stressing out about it, you know, in silence, my hands are also hurting me all at the same time when playing this. So you can definitely feel not only my anxiety, but my hands are also like, dude, I'm kind of done. I want to spaz out. I want to stress out when playing this shit. Anyways, trap rooms suck. Let's move on to the next level. And I know this review is going to be a long one if I'm going level by level. Right? How are you today? Lord Draken, I'm doing fine. I'm just expressing my thoughts on this game, right? So the next level, you're in this elevator thing where you just fight enemies, right? And I was like, okay, this level's not long, bro. It only took, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. You start the stage at 23 minutes. Look where it ends. Not even 2 minutes in a fucking elevator, we go on to the next stage, which I think this was after the jungle level. Alright. Yeah, so after the freaking jungle level, which was level 3 or 4, this is the trap room, so it doesn't count. This is 4, and we go immediately into 5 after that, which we're back in the city again, fighting these enemies now. And again, I can't even fucking lie. Sitting here, dealing with the same enemies every level, even at level 5, was fucking annoying. Because you're sitting there doing the same thing over and over again. You're wondering, okay. By the way, this theme for a boss is fucking annoying. You're sitting there, who the fuck is this bitch? I think that's Scream. I could be hella wrong, but she is actually infinitely easier to beat up. In comparison to that black symbiote, in my opinion, way easier. You can actually full combo her to get her health downs. And I don't get it, why the bosses in this game can range from either being annoying really early on, and then you get bosses like Scream right here, which didn't even last 2 minutes, because I can straight up combo that bitch. Anyways, another trap room appears, and you're sitting there heading to level 6. You're in this new fucking mall place, beating up these guys over and over and over again. It's encouraging to enter secret rooms, as well, I guess, for extra upgrades, and even actually wall climb. I didn't even know you can do that in the game. But you're sitting there wondering, where the hell is the boss fight? And I'm not gonna lie to you, look how long level 6 is, fam. That is ridiculous. Also in level 6, you fight the same dude you fought in level 2 again, but then you fight this guy, right? Now you already explained what he does. Now, what does he do? He sits there in the corner, spams laser bolts at your bitch ass, and you're supposed to go over there and try to beat him up before he even gets the chance to shoot laser beams. And by the way, those laser beams do up to here in terms of damage, and that's only 1 bolt, and he can shoot at least 2 bolts. So you got here, and then you got here. So you're already low HP by 2-3 shots of this fucking green guy, which is why the green guy is fucking annoying. And you have to deal with these guys simultaneously with each other, which sucks. And I was like, why is level 6 so long? So we go into level 7, which is even longer, by the way. And this is where you fight a new enemy type. You fight these little circle droid things that have this green laser shot thing for some reason. And the whole gimmick of this level is you're basically fighting robots. Oh, and also the boss here again is a repeat of the boss you fought in level 3. Now I'm starting to see why this game's reputation is fucking lazy. Because they were on the Super Nintendo. And you're telling me you couldn't think of a boss for this level right here for Spider-Man to face? Like a different symbiote? At least recolor the fucker, or something. No, you decide to give us the same boss as level 3 for level 6. If not 7 by this point. Right? I'm sitting there oh, I'm starting to see why people said this game is getting kind of bad, because not only you're fighting the repeat enemies, every stage, with very little change, but, the game's also fucking hard on top of that. You can't change the difficulty. You can't give yourself more lives if needed to before the game starts. You have to manually pick up all your lives unless you know the cheats going into the game. And I can definitely see why this game is said to be bad, or you've heard it was bad before this, right? But anyways, so you fight this Venom symbiote again, you go into a trap room that also wastes your time, but then you're introduced on this other bridge. Sorry for all the ads, people. You're sitting there wondering, okay, this is some techno-robotic bridge thingy or whatever, finding more of the same enemy types over and over and over again. Oh, and also, you fight the same dude from level 2 again as another boss. Fun, right? Just gonna skip over. You go to level 8. This is where the problem starts, right? So not only you're fighting these type of enemies over here, right? And you can't barely see your character whenever you're up against these bars, so that's another problem I have. But let's say you're done beating up these guys. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You thought those guys were bad? Wait till you see this fucking thing. This thing takes so much HP from you like it's fucking nothing. And I shit you not, bro. If this robot decides to hit you with his 4-piece little baby arm combo, you're fucking dead. Because it does more than half HP with 3 hits, or about half or lower than half with 3 to 4 fucking hits from this damn thing. And his laser gun that it shoots does less damage than his robotic arm barrage that he does to Spider-Man or Venom. And I'm sitting there wondering, you have to fight groups of that robotic bitch in every single level after level 7 or 8. You know? And I'm sitting there like, oh my god. These robots are annoying. I have to rely on Hawkeye or one of my homies, you know, to defend against that robotic thing. And you have to fight groups of 3s, groups of 4s of these guys over and over again. And look at this, 3 of those fucking things that can easily one-tap you. And yes, you can shield, you know, spider web shield, and then, you know, them all day long. You could if you could time it right. But not a lot of people are going to time that shit right on the first playthrough, right? So we go in, we meet up the boss. Can't remember the boss of this level. But the boss of this level is something more unique. You're wondering, what the fuck even is that? That, my friend, is a symbiote with blades for hands. Look at this fucker's movement. He sits there backflipping, yo bitch ass. Now you can straight up ult him, you know, to make his health go down a lot faster. But keep in mind, I didn't have a Hawkeye on my side. I was sitting there dealing with this fucker by myself. And you know what? He jumps everywhere. He's way too fucking fast. He jumps backwards too fast. He jumps forwards too fast. He leaps on your bitch ass, takes chunks out of your HP like it's fucking nothing over here, right? Then you enter a trap room, waste more time. And then you're back into the jungle or some type of fucking forest environment thingy. I don't even fucking know anymore. But this is like level 9, and you're sitting there dealing with a fucking skin swap version of Scream, this purple, weird version of her, which is easier than the other brown guy from earlier, right? You're like, okay, next level, dealing with these guys again. Yeah, are you guys seeing my problem with this game, and why it shouldn't last an hour or 10? I feel like every beat-em-up game should at least last 30 minutes, because when your beat-em-up game lasts 30 minutes, I don't have to sit here and repeating the same points over and over again when your game lasts 20, 30 minutes and it's like 5, 8, 7, 8 stages. So that way, whenever you think of enemies and you don't think about enemies repeating themselves every 5 fucking minutes, alright, dreading your fucking encounters when your game is 30 minutes and not about an hour or 10. Alright? Fuck. That's what I was trying to say. You're sitting there dealing with these enemies over and over and over again. And I think when you get to the boss, you fight multiple people. So you fight this flying dickbag, which doesn't take a lot of help. Separation anxiety from the suit? No, separation anxiety for the Super Nintendo. That's literally what this game's called. Venom / Spider-Man separation anxiety. Anyways, you fight that flying dickhead, which you can only do air kicks to kick his ass, and you can't even reach him when he's standing there. You have to wait till he flies low for you to come in. Then we got this douchebag, which he can also fly and shoot laser bolts, and also be fucking annoying. Not the green guy that's fucking punching into him. The fucking dude in black here, he was fucking annoying. And you have to fight these guys simultaneously. I think it's 3 people here. I could be fucking wrong, and it could be the next level that has 3 guys. Oh yeah, it is 3 guys, because after you're done dealing with him, or you're done dealing with that, I guess you go to another trap room, right? And you're sitting there, okay, this might be the end. This level's all in red. Fuck, I don't like this shit. This is like level 11, level 12. I think there's about like a lot of levels here, right? So you're sitting there, you're dealing with enemies, right? You're wondering what the boss is for this stage. God. This green symbiote thing. Thank God this green symbiote thing was a lot easier to deal with. Like, I pray it's not the black symbiote. And basically you deal with this green symbiote as the boss. And basically, the last stage in the game is this. You better make sure you have fucking lives for this. Because I'm about to just show you. You're walking around as Spider-Man wondering what the fuck's up. You have the black symbiote on your dick. You have the guy in blue from before where he jumps and shoots your bitch ass. Right? And thank God I did have Ghost Rider or another character for the stage when doing this myself. But you have these guys you have to deal with simultaneously. After you beat one of them, another one will come out. But they give you health, they give you lives as well. So you're not like completely screwed. But just make sure you come in with fully 9, 10 lives. And also, like, just make sure you do the fucking cheats to make this game a little bit more enjoyable. And also, bring a fucking friend. I highly recommend you bring a friend for this game, because this game was not meant for single player, man. But anyways, you can sit there, you beat the guy up, the green, the symbiotes come out, all this other sort of shit, right? The purple symbiote from earlier. You got the flying guy, the flying dickhead, the brown symbiote. Basically, all the bosses you fought previously come out. And then you're sitting there wondering, okay, we're not done. That was just the level itself. What the fuck do we do? You fight Carnage himself, right? Now, his attacks do a lot of damage. He does more than all the other guys. But basically, you can sit there kind of beating him up over and over again, like, kind of easily. But then again, he'll beat you up just as easily whenever you guys decide to play, right? I always try my best to punch him in the corner of the screen, so that way I can have a little bit of leeway, but make sure you avoid his attacks, because he has things that can, like, has range, that can outrange you and shit, whenever you fight this guy. Again, yes, you can use Daredevil to lace you up as well. And yes, spamming your friends here is a godsend. So you can stun dude here a lot longer, right? And you're like, wait a minute. Keep this in mind. This is the final boss, right? Whenever you play this shit. Carnage. I was shitting my pants because Carnage just kept beating my ass over and over again. And by the way, on those other guys, I lost so many lives. And on those just two, I was losing HP like no other. I was losing lives like no other. On those stages, I went all the way down to 2 or 1 life left. And I got lucky enough to have, I think it was like a 1-up shit to like lace me up. And to give me 2 lives so I can continue playing the game. Because keep this in mind, I wasn't going to sit there writing passwords all day. So basically, my progress was like a one and done type deal. And yes, obviously, I use save states for this game. Because I am not going to sit there and fucking use a shitty password system when I have an emulator right here that I can just save state like after every level on. Or in between areas and whatnot. Because holy fuck, this game gets annoying and really repetitive really quick. So after you beat Carnage, no joke, this is what happens when you beat him. Game complete, credits start rolling, and that's it. You just get Carnage on the screen saying game complete, that's it. I won't lie to you guys, when I played this, I beat this in a single night. I woke up, it was either afternoon, I sat down and played 2 to 3 levels in the afternoon, and then after that point, I did every single level from where I left off that single night. Today, or not today, yesterday. I went from yesterday to playing a little bit to finishing the entire experience in that same day, just in a couple of hours. Right? Now, if you're really skilled at this game, you know the cheat codes, you could beat this in an hour. But I would say if you're going into this blind, this game could easily take you a couple of hours to beat. Or this game could take you about an hour or so to beat in one session if you're trying to give this a shot in one session and you know your passwords and all that and I don't know if you're going to get game overs as much as I did. If you get more game overs than me, then that's even more extended game time on this shit. Now, what do I think of this, right? I won't lie to y'all. I liked this game a little bit. I might not even do 2 videos. I might just do one big video because this is nearly an hour-long review on Spider-Man. So, you know what? I might just do the Captain America video tomorrow. But I'm telling y'all, playing this game in a single night after you just got done with Jubilee, a game that was platforming stressful like no end, and then just going to this game and just having that stress and anxiety of a beat-em-up game, that is tough as shit. That isn't like your usual beat-em-up game where you can either change the difficulty to make it at least your experience a little easier or make it a little harder. This game says, fuck all that. The difficulty you go into this game is the difficulty you're starting with and the difficulty you're ending with. Fuck me sideways, man. I loved playing this, but I also really dreaded playing this. And I dreaded it because of the repeat boss battles throughout the game. I dreaded it because the enemies, I felt like, were... the base enemies and some of their attacks were way too strong for their own good. They're doing more damage than some of the boss fights. For some reason. I don't know why that is. And also, like, the stage inconsistency is it's that shitty, you know, like, the music was really, like, the only thing I felt like was carrying this experience after a while. Like, you know, it didn't feel like I was playing a good game anymore after a while. It kind of just felt like I was just going through the motions. Like, more and more bullshit or the same type of bullshit. The same... You know what? Here's how I'm going to sum it up. This game feels like food that you ate, but you're sick, and you have to regurgitate it. Every 10 minutes, or every 12 minutes, you regurgitate, you have a reflux, or you throw up. You throw up that same content. Yeah! But with new bits and chunks and pieces of your throw up, as the new bits and contents for each of the stages. That's what this game felt like. It didn't feel like I said, it felt like something you regurgitate out of your fucking mouth. That's what this game felt like as an experience after a while. And it's not even good. It didn't even, you throwing up didn't even help you. Alright, it sat there, wasted your time, you threw up all over the fucking floor, and now you have to spend time cleaning it. That's what this game felt like, at points. And it left me with nothing but, oh, thank God I'm done with the game after this. Because I remember when I saw that Carnage game complete screen, I was done. I was completely done. I was done. I was sweating my ass off when playing this game. And keep in mind, it wasn't even that bad. But the fact that I was dealing with all that anxiety that the game likes to say, and keep in mind, this game will give you anxiety. I was sweating so bad, and it was late night too. I had to get up and go shower after the game was done. I was sweating that bad. But yeah, would I recommend a play on this? I would recommend you guys whip this up on emulator and play it for your first time, because I feel like not a lot of you guys are going to beat it, like, outright on your first time without it taking you 3 to 4 hours, because those game over screens are about to happen super often, unless you know the cheats. Unless you know the strats of this game, you played this game 100 times, maybe you won't die as much. But if you're someone like me that went in blind on an emulator and was dying all the fucking time and got extremely close multiple times to game overs, and if it wasn't for me, like, either save stating in that right spot or just save stating in between rooms, I would have game overed a long time ago. So keep that in mind when you're playing this Spider-Man game, y'all. And honestly, other than emulator, would I recommend on the original hardware? If you're like that, go ahead. But for a lot of other people, I wouldn't even recommend this game for a lot of other people, you know, that. But if you do like beat-em-up games with challenge, give this one a shot. But I'd recommend those that are just getting into video games, or, you know, just want to give this one a shot but have no idea what you're up against, whip this up on emulator. Don't try to buy it on eBay or other places, because they will scalp them prices way too high for this type of fucking shit. Anyways, that's my review on Venom / Spider-Man separation anxiety for the Super Nintendo. If you guys enjoyed this really long review, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. God bless you all. Hope you guys all have a great day. And this game was bullshit. And God, I don't want to play another beat 'em up game like this one again. I won't even lie. I don't even think I want to play another beat 'em up game for a little bit. At least till my hands are fucking good. Because this game just gave me nothing but stress and anxiety. Anyways. Wait, actually, I should do something funny. Hold on. I'm going to do something funny as the outro for this video. Because I think it'd be funny. Give me a sec. Let me just, find it real quick so I can just, end this video. I'm gonna, give me a sec. I'm gonna end this video in a peak way. But, yeah. Alright, here we go. Alright, bye, y'all.